Hey, what's up? I'm sitting down here with Kieran. He is a 20-year-old producer and mixer from Austin, Texas, who recently went through the Mix Vault course and has a pretty cool story to share. So, Kieran, what's up, dude? Can you maybe just say hey and kind of talk about what kind of stuff you're working on down there?
Yeah, what's up, man? So at this moment, I'm working on a few overlapping projects, really, because I guess I've realized I'm the kind of person that says yes to a lot of things, and I've gotten a bunch of my buddies in bands have reached out to me about working on their music, and then that goes to like their friends, and it's just been going that way. I'm working on two splits at the moment, one and a whole it's a 6-song EP, and I'm about to get started on an album in a couple weeks.
Nice.
But yeah, that should be awesome. I mean, lots of stuff going on at the same time, just trying to figure out all the time management.
Yeah. And are you working mostly on like heavy stuff, like metal or hardcore? What genre wise?
Mostly I guess pop punk stuff, and then like with like I guess pop punk with like that edge to it too. There's a band that I'm working on later on this month. It's like a sludge band, which is something new to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's going to turn out awesome. They're super heavy and very aggressive. It's really cool. They're really good.
Awesome. So you're 20 years old. When did you start engineering and recording and mixing, and why? Like, kind of what got you into that?
Well, when I was like 14, I remember getting Christmas money from my grandparents. I don't remember if it was Christmas or birthday money, but something like that. And I told my parents, hey, take me to Best Buy. I know what I want for I don't know, Christmas or birthday.
Yeah.
But I saw this, I went through all the like program stuff, and they had that small music section back then. And I saw this, I don't remember what it's called. I think it's Magic's Music Maker, something like that. It was this like old program that, I mean, they're still around. They're still doing some cool stuff. But basically it was like a recording program that came with a bunch of loops, like synthesizer loops, drum loops, stuff like that. And I started basically writing songs at this point. I'd been playing guitar for a few years already. And I mean, I wrote some pretty bad songs, but that just enabled me. I would record out of I had a little amp, and I would connect the headphone out into the mic in on my computer, and that's how I would record.
Right.
But so fast forward a few years, I was in a band, and we went to record a couple singles at a studio, and so I was super excited. The experience was awesome, and I knew I loved that stuff. Like, it was just so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And when we did get the mixes back, I was a little bit disappointed, but I was like, well, it's a step above like my pre-production, obviously, but
right.
I was like, maybe I could do a good job at doing this. So I started doing that with my own band, and like over the course of a while, I think about the second song we released, I had some friends in other bands reach out to me, be like, hey, dude, who mixed this? It sounds good. And I'm like, you really think so? Because I mixed that.
Nice.
They're like, yeah, work on my band. And it started like that. And then it was like band after band for a little while. And then I moved away to college and basically had to start over here.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's very similar to me in terms of getting started, is like just being in my own band and going to record somewhere else and just having this, even though I didn't know anything, I just had this feeling in my head that like, that I could maybe do a better job than what I was getting.
Yeah, I feel bad saying that, right? Just because I don't want to sound all like I'm tooting my own horn or whatever. But
right.
I did think that, and it was just something in me that just told me that like I wanted to do that.
Yeah, I think that's common. Like, you just kind of get this sense that this is something I think I'd be good at. Yeah, that's cool. So you kept doing that, and you moved away, and when you saw the Mix Vault opportunity come up, where were you at then? Like, where was your mind at? What kind of pushed you over the edge where you decided, I need this?
It was at a point where it was just a little bit frustrating, just because It was like kind of starting over connections wise and everything like that. And my mixes weren't, I mean, all that impressive over here. There's a lot of big studios and there's like awesome like products that are coming out. And I mean, I thought at the time there's no way I could compete with that. And well, I had already like learned a ton from all your free content. So I just thought, I mean, I thought the way you taught was awesome and very straightforward, and I liked it. So I was like, maybe this is what I need to just kind of like push me that extra step. And honestly, kind of like just is what flipped that switch in my head that allowed me to take that next step in my, I guess, mixing career, because I never would have thought it would have like gotten to this point where now I'm booked out months ahead. And
yeah,
I wouldn't say I'm completely happy with my work, and I don't think I ever will be, but definitely so much like improvement has happened over the last few months, and definitely it's not something that I could have gotten from. There's a lot of like, I'm a very obsessive person. Like I wanted to learn, so I spent hours and hours and hours like watching YouTube videos, reading books about this, and I did get I learned a lot, but I also realize now that I got some pretty bad advice out of that stuff. And that's seeing, I guess, you go through the whole song. I get to see your actual process. So that's what was like, I guess what kind of pushed me over the edge is being like, well, I totally love the work that you do. And I thought like, all those Silver Stain records that you did that I'd been listening to for years sounded awesome. So I was like, this could really like be awesome. And it was different than I expected, but in a good way.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate those words.
No problem.
So what specifically, like you said, it kind of flipped the switch for you. Can you point to any like specific things, either in your mindset or like specific, actual mixing techniques or skills that you learned that kind of, like you said, helped flip that switch? Like what specifically?
Well, I guess when it comes down to it, like it's the philosophy a little bit behind your mixing decisions and stuff like that was like, whoa, like, because you actually explain the way that or the reason why you do things, and not to just like punch in these numbers and it'll sound good. Because it's not like that really. And some of the coolest stuff I picked up is like technique wise is mixing in mono. Like that made a huge difference in where my guitar and bass sit. Like it's just, or EQing, I'm sorry. But yeah, that was an awesome tip. But as far as other stuff like that, like your EQ moves, stuff like that, the reasons why you do it or how extreme they can be sometimes, I never thought that was really an option. I thought that was like banned. And I'm sure you've heard that before, but everybody's like, and now I see like also that same thing with compression. Like I always thought you can't use more than like, I guess like a 2-to-1 ratio on stuff, because it's wrong to destroy that audio signal or so that's why the main thing that I feel like I picked up is that just that whole different philosophy on like your views and decisions when you make those when you're mixing, because that's something that I would have never gotten from just like those YouTube videos online or stuff. It's like, I guess it's like actually seeing a pro do it. I mean, it literally is that, but.
Right. Yeah. It's almost like just seeing that happen on real records. It kind of frees you up from all these like rules that you put on yourself. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. It just like frees you. And I'm like, I'm going to do what sounds good for this. And I mean, I saw that you did that too. And I picked up also like all these mixing techniques that I didn't know about, or your certain like, I guess the order of your effects change, stuff like that. It's all awesome because it's so accessible because it's in the box. It's not like I have to go buy like 10 grand worth of outboard gear and do all that stuff. It's something that I could, I mean, just even like with different plugins be able to understand. Like I'm on Reaper, which is a completely different DAW,
Okay.
which I've been using that for years, and I tried Pro Tools. I just really couldn't. I'm just so used to it at this point to Reaper that. But I was able to kind of like translate that, and I think it helped to be on a different DAW because I wasn't like looking at the literal sense of it. I was looking more at the what was happening to the audio, what direction you were taking it in, and seeing the concept rather than the numbers and the
right. So yeah, that can kind of be an advantage, like being on a different DAW or even having different plugins, because yeah, you're not just copying down what you're seeing in the videos
right.
necessarily. You're able to, well, you're forced to use the stuff that you have to achieve the same result, and yeah, apply the higher level concepts, not just copying stuff. So that's awesome, man. Now you just kind of touched on this, but you're booked out months in advance. Like, since taking the course, like, what can you just kind of walk me through what happened? So you move away, you're kind of starting over, you kind of make this jump with the course, and you want to push forward. And well, I'll let you say it. Like, where are you at now? Like, what's your career look like, your business?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I mean, it's different than I would have thought, just because I didn't think it would happen this fast. But yeah, so I basically had met some friends. I was working at Guitar Center a while back, and I mean that was actually a big help, just getting to meet people in the music scene. But at this time, my band had just put out an EP, and it was, I guess it was that kind of like got people to talk to me. But so with this band, I recently worked on the mixes that I had sent you. They had just come to me, and we were like working on something. They were doing a split, so they were like, well, it's like a bit lower budget, we wanted to do this and this. And once they heard like the mixes and stuff, and other people heard it, I started getting like these like all these messages from different bands. And like I had mentioned earlier, I'm a very like say yes person, because I think I can do it all, even though I can't sometimes. But yeah, and I guess just having the work show for it is what like Mixvault enabled me to do, because really there's like I mean I think it would have just taken me so much longer to make those. Like, I always saw it as this like hurdle that was like stopping me, because I thought my stuff sounds good, it sounds okay, it sounds balanced. But when I listen to pro mixes in my car, I'm so disappointed, because it's not at that level. I mean, and I feel like I'm getting closer to that, even though I'm not quite there. But I keep revisiting the Mixvault videos, even while I'm mixing like a completely different song. And it's just like having that tool there, seeing like the way that someone else tackles that problem, or and I thought it was really helpful, for example, like in the Neck Deep track, how it's something that something you got sent to mix. So it wasn't like, I know the tracking on it wasn't ideal 100%. There was like some little artifacts there. And I've had that happen too with my stuff, and I had to like do it in that same way. And but yeah, well, that took me to where I am now. I'm sorry I babble a lot, but
no, that's I mean,
yeah, it's just having the, I guess, the music show for itself, and just the word of mouth. I think that's gotten me to this point.
Yeah. I think that, yes, people get worried about, how do I promote myself? How do I get people to come to me? And, your story, I think it's the same as mine. It's the same as so many people I've talked to, where it's just like, you just work on your mixes,
you work hard, you get once you get that sound. Yeah, I think like the number one thing before, like, you hear that you've got to do all this, like, once you get that first band in, or, you make friends with these, with people in the scene, but beyond that is just like work on your product, because in the end, like, no matter how many friends you have, like, if your mixes aren't good, they're not going to come to you. But if you flip that around and your mixes are awesome, really good, and you don't have friends, then like you can also you're still like, I just feel like that change in the that improvement in my mixes is what allowed people to be like, whoa, this sounds really good for, like, I mean, something that was recorded in someone's house, because
Right.
I mean that's what it is. But,
Yeah. And now people are coming to you asking.
yeah, but now people are coming to record them, and it's weird because there is a lot of like really nice studios around and like some awesome mixers, but I think what enables like all of this to be possible is just like because I mean, I guess the work speaks for itself. So
yeah, absolutely, man. That's so cool. Congrats on that success. And you said
Thank you.
You're booked out till
I am booked out till early May. Yeah.
Which is like 4 months from now, which is
it's crazy,
unreal, dude.
but it's
and you're currently,
and I've been trying to fit like more projects in between stuff, which I shouldn't do that because I need to learn to just give myself time to mix, because I'm like, I just finished mixing the split before this. I think the last couple, I mixed like 2 songs in 4 days, which is something I would have never been able to do. Like, it used to take me like weeks and months to do, and I've been speeding up a lot. Definitely. And having those tools there help me, like I said, revisiting those mix vault videos is something that I could just be like, okay, this is what I need to do. Or something along those lines, rather than be like, man, I remember I saw this video like a few years ago and I don't know what exactly the but yeah, having those, like, just literally logging into my account, being able to go through them, and I've gone through each video at least like 3 or 4 times now. Wow. So
that's awesome, man. That's so cool. I love this stuff. I love stories of guys who are just like, all of a sudden it changes and it's just like, and you're booked out, and I mean that totally changes like where you think your future's going. I mean, like, compared to say 3 months ago or 4 months ago or whatever, when this course started, compared to like where you're at now and where you see the next like couple years heading, like, has that changed a lot? Like, where do you see like the next, your goals, or where you see your path?
Yeah, it's totally, like, I guess different now, because like I had mentioned to you, I'm a student here and I'm like in my last year of school.
Yeah.
But it's been hard to keep up with this and school at the same time. So I'm just like, man, like I'm not feeling school that much, just because I'm so much happier doing this, that I've been having a hard time with all that. But I honestly want to just finish school and continue doing this. And I think if I can maintain that full-time aspect of this, if I could like pay my rent, live okay, I'd be way happier doing this than like any other job, really. I see. I never would have thought, but like a few months ago I would have been like, yeah, maybe I'll just do that on the side, like just sometimes, and now it's like I could really actually make this a career. So that a few months ago wasn't a possibility. So
it sounds like you're in a great position to finish up school in a few months and then just go for it, man. It sounds like things are going really well. So I'm super pumped to hear that. Yeah, man, thanks for sitting down to chat. Is there anything, any final words for kind of other guys who are in your shoes, or maybe who are in where you are like 4 or 5 months ago? Any advice so that someone else can kind of do the same thing that you've managed to do?
Yeah, definitely. My advice would be just don't rule out that possibility, because it's very possible. And also, don't be afraid to invest in yourself, because that is one of the best things you can do, because really there's so many good things out there, like, they can help you learn. And I mean, this is one of them, and it just is what makes all that difference, because these are people that took the time to, I mean, they spent the years doing this, and now that there's just courses out there that you can actually be able to dive into that and pick that up so much quicker. So it's just like having that extra help there is just make sure you take advantage of it.
Yeah. Awesome advice, man. Couldn't agree more. Thanks again for doing this interview, And yeah, man, best of luck to you going forward on your projects.
Thank you, and best of luck to you too.
All right, man.
Yeah, thank you for everything.
All right, no worries. Thank you.